Tuesday morning, Mike Talks, everybody. How you doing? I'm going to keep that running theme going that we started yesterday. I just got from another morning run. Actually, my glasses are steaming up. That ever happened to you? Yeah, me too. And I want to talk about a verse from Isaiah chapter 52, verse 7. And it has to do with running, and it has to do with messengers. You guys probably know this, but back in the day, every king had a messenger that would run long distances from the battlefront or from far away to bring news to the king. So for an example, the word marathon comes from that famous battle at Marathon between the Greeks and the Phoenicians, the Syrophoenicians, and they won. And so this guy ran from Marathon, Greece, to Athens to say to everyone, we won. We're victorious. You don't have to worry about it anymore. The Persians, the Syrophoenicians, they're not going to overthrow us. And then he died. I always joke about that with people who run marathons, which I have done before. It's like, hey, the guy that ran the first 26.2 miles collapsed and died as soon as he got done. But he was the bearer of good news. This verse from Isaiah 52 says, how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news, who publishes peace, who brings good news of happiness, who publishes salvation, who says to Zion, your God reigns. I don't know if I don't know how your feet look. I don't like my feet. My feet, starting about age 40, so about 15 years ago when I started running seriously, I've got the right shoes. I got great socks. I take care of my feet, but my feet are ugly. I mean, they're beat up, they're calloused, they're cracked. The toenails are just jagged, barely identifiable as toenails. I really don't like my feet. If you ask to see them, probably you won't, okay? They're ugly. But this scripture says that the feet of those who bring good news are beautiful. Why is that? Now, by the way, I can't imagine how ugly the feet of actual messengers back in the day. I've been in the Judean desert, the places where these messengers might run over the mountains. It's very mountainous, it's very deserty, it's very rocky, dusty. They didn't have, Asics gel tennis shoes. They didn't have socks. They were running, many of them probably barefoot, but at the very most, they would have sandals on. I can't imagine how cut and bruised and bloody and calloused the shoes of these runners, or the feet of these runners must have been. But here's the point that Isaiah is making. There's going to come a day where somebody comes running over the mountain and says, we've won. God has saved us. We don't have to worry anymore about defeat. And of course, that's pointing to Jesus Christ. That's pointing to the day where, hey, good news for the world. There's no more defeat. There's no more death. There's no more sorrow. We win. And that's the victory that Jesus has given us. And imagine what it would be like to receive, to have somebody standing on a mountaintop and to look at a distance and say, hey, our runner's coming. And watch him go up and down the mountains and the ravines and finally get closer and closer till you see him with your eye. And people would be standing out there with the king, and he would run into town winded and breathless. And the king would say, what news do you bring, my son? And he would say, you have won. You've overcome your enemies. May the Lord do this to every enemy of the king. This is good news. And what happens then is a celebration. There are people in our lives today who are looking, they're watching, they're hoping that somebody will run into their lives and bring them good news. And you have it. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you have good news today. There are people who still don't know what to do with everything that's transpired these last 3 or 4 months. Still talking about it, looking for some wisdom on Twitter or social media, hoping to find some joy in some relationship or restarting relationships, trying to find a place where they can go and be in public. This is a world that needs good news. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news today. So where are your feet going today? They're probably not running over mountains, probably not running miles and miles and miles. Maybe they are. But wherever they go, make sure you share the good news of Jesus Christ, because that's how you have beautiful feet. Wherever you go today, I hope that your feet are beautiful because you're saying to people, you're publishing peace. You are bringing news of happiness. You are saying to the people, your God reigns. And he does that through Jesus Christ. Have a very, very beautiful feet day, guys. Love you all. See you tomorrow.